gonna walk and rise above the sun. Well, I'm gonna walk from the place where I come from. Well, I'm gonna walk and leave you behind. I'm gonna walk 'cause you made me love you. Can't believe I go so far away, but it lets me ease my mind. At the mountain I let myself go. The mountain listens, the mountain knows. Well, you're gonna walk 'cause you say you love me. You're gonna walk and leave me alone. I let you roam, you soon realize I've got another place to go. Can't believe I go so far away, but it lets me ease my mind. At the mountain I let myself go. The mountain listens, the mountain knows that you're no good for me. Well, you're no good for me. I trust the mountain, she gives me pride. Well, I speak to her like she's my bride. She doesn't play any games, she doesn't laugh at me. She just listens and she knows. I can't believe I go so far away, but it lets me ease my mind. At the mountain I let myself go. The mountain listens, the mountain knows. I can't believe I go so far away, but it lets me ease my mind. At the mountain I let myself go. The mountain listens, the mountain knows.
Season 1, Episode 9. It's Sunday, June 7th. 8 p.m. is upon us. And it is about that time. Hey, how you doing, everyone? Welcome to Live at Chance's house. My name is Chance, of course. And I want to welcome you guys out to the Sunday show. So today's, the last couple of shows we've done on Sundays have been a little bit different. And so we been talking music, been showing some videos and doing different things. So I wanted to keep up with that programming, and we're gonna do some fun stuff today. So got some stories I want to share. I got a couple of videos you may have not seen, maybe a couple of videos you have. I can't remember. It's been a few shows now, but now that I've got this thing down a little bit better than I had before, I can present them a little bit better. First off, as always, we want to thank our sponsors for tonight, all the guys and ladies, if there are any over at Joe's Tavern and Grill, our sponsor tonight. Thank you so much, guys. And as always, we've got lots to look forward to with the crew over there, and I'm sure the neighbors are going to be chiming in as well, listening to the show and finding out what we got going on over there. So a couple of things I want to talk about first is, as of last week, when we did the Sunday show, I announced that Every Step had hit a new milestone. It had hit a milestone of 50,000 plays. And I can't tell you how excited I was to hear that. And in just 1 week, it's about to flip over 60. It's at 59 and some change. And so, it just keeps going up. And I don't know what else to say other than thank you for all the support. And gosh, there's some people out there that, like the song, and I'm very blessed for that. And I can't thank people enough for chiming in, sharing, and doing all the things that they're doing out there. So this is going to be kind of loose. I'm not going to lie. I don't really have a plan. I had a plan a little bit earlier and was thinking about what I'm going to do, and then it's Sunday and I had to work and I got off late, so I just wanted to touch base and put some things together. But the first thing let's do, I've come a long way since we first got this thing started. And for those of you who've been watching since even before we started calling it Season 1 and Episode 1, and before I got all fancy with microphones and programs and everything else, it was me and an iPhone. And there wasn't a whole lot more than that. And I've been kind of digging through the archives, so to speak, over the last 2 months and digging up a few things. But even from as early back as Season 1, Episode 1 of Live at Chance's House, there is quite a hilarity going on. So I wanted to share that, and we'll get started just so you guys can see, because it's cringeworthy at best. So enjoy the quick blooper reel, and I'm sure there'll be more to come because it's endearing.
So if it ends up just being too intolerable and I don't feel like posting it, then I'll go and edit it, and I'll have the audio feed that goes whoop, right into it. I can turn the lights on. Jeez. Just trying to set the mood. Is that better? One, I'm just trying to make sure everything's working. Looks like everything's working. I got to back up. Hold on. Maybe I need to work on my uplighting a little bit. Can I get someone tell me on the sound if it's still good? I just want to make sure we're good. Any issues, anyone? Maybe just playing around at the house, but I definitely haven't played one live in a while, so I'm a little rusty. Coming at you live from Chance's house, doing a little something here. All right, coming up in the next hour, we got all kinds of stuff for you. A little Floyd, a little Zap, a little all kinds, a little Rush, a little this and that. Well, I don't know what it's time for. What we got going on? We got this thing finally working. There's a lot of people out there that are making it sound awesome. I'm like, how do you do that? How come I can't do that? Literally, it was a sound check. All right, I don't normally do this one by myself, but I don't really have a choice. Headphones in my ears right now. I can actually hear the mistakes that I'm making versus going back and feeling cringeworthy as I'm watching the video live again going, oh, God, why did I miss that? Let me tune back up. Disco Ball would be perfect. Which RDO song are we going to do? I don't know. I haven't been able to get a decent recording of this song yet anyway. So, plus I need to practice. What am I going to name the boat? Easy lettuce and a little ham slicing. Larry Gary. I do believe it was Dollar Schnapps Night. Larry Gary, and the guy just falls right the hell over. Hey, there were shots, and plenty of them. In Abilene, Larry Gary, easy lettuce and ham slicing it. We're playing the last call. Enough about that. Maybe that's the name of the boat. It sounds like a country song. Whoa, Larry Gary, such a weird dude. Made a complete ass out of myself. Like, the lighting. It's good. Y'all be groovy.
So, needless to say, that was just one episode, and I'm sure there's more outtakes and fun things that are going on. All right, let's get the comments up, see what's happening out there. Once again, welcome to Live at Chance's House. This is Season 1, Episode 9, and coming at you live here. And thank you for our sponsors at Joe's Tavern and Grill, where you can eat, drink, and never leave, where your friends are your friends, and then there's Jimmy. So thank you guys for out there watching everything's going on. Hey, so going to throw out a couple of things, going to do some more videos, talk a little bit about the songs and the things that are happening, and give you guys a little insight to some of the things that have happened. But the first thing I want to show you, I was going to save this, but I'm going to do it now because I think it's perfect for now. Still need a disco ball. I do need a disco ball. I need to go get one. That would be funny. Spinning around, doing all the stuff. All right, so Brett asked for something last week, and he said, hey, you need to do this. And I was like, okay, I'll find a way to incorporate it somehow. Not real sure how I was going to do it, but I figured it out. So here's a little me with me. And then there's another part that I'm doing, and then there's me. Enjoy.
Come on! She comes from the top of the hill, a Coach handbag and Prada high heels. And she's looking like a beauty queen, every clean-cut American college boy's dream. But let me be the bearer of a little bad news. She likes some long-haired boys with lots of tattoos. Ride a big old bike, get a little crazy on a Friday night. She likes to let loose, wear the jeans too tight, sip a bit of whiskey and a good ball fight. Did Daddy know it would break his heart? She loves his long-haired boys with lots of tattoos. Girls night out to hit the stomping ground, a swanky little dance club uptown. Well, it doesn't take long when she's had a drink to start thinking about a ponytail and some ink. She's got him all fooled, he ain't got a clue. She likes the long-haired boys with lots of tattoos. Ride a big old bike, get a little crazy on a Friday night. She likes to let loose, wear the jeans too tight, sip a bit of whiskey and a good ball fight. Did Daddy know it would break his heart? She likes his long-haired boys with lots of tattoos. If you want a shot man, this is what you gotta do. You grow your hair real long and get a tattoo. Ride a big old bike, get a little crazy on a Friday night. She likes to let loose, wear my jeans too tight, sip a bit of whiskey and a good ball. Daddy know it would break his heart. She likes those long-haired boys, those long-haired boys. She likes those long-haired boys, lots of tattoos. Yeah, man, with lots of tattoos.
Brett said, get me a kazoo. And I said, all right, well, I'll figure it out. And I didn't know that was going to be the case when I started trying that song. I was like, you know what? I need a solo. So what better thing to do than a than a kazoo solo. All right, so that was a little RDO for you, the song. You've heard me do that one before. A little tattoos, did it 4 ways. And started playing around with the acapella app. That's where that came from. And you see everyone who's doing this thing where they're, got multiple people and, in videos and doing things across, different cities and continents and whatever else. And so we were going to try and work out some stuff. It's actually going to be a tool we're going to use to practice with the band. But we might end up with a few videos out of it as well that are fun. So wanted to share that. So, all right. Hey, I don't know if I've ever shared this before or not. And it's possible that I have. But I wanted to tell you guys a story, and I'm going to show you a video. So back in the day, I think I've told this story. If I have, well, you know what? Too bad. But I wanted to share it anyway. There was a time. There was a time that before my retail career and the one that I'm in now, I used to work for Best Buy. And Best Buy was actually pretty glorious. I liked working there a lot. And back in 2007, decided to leave the company. And I ended up chasing money, and that was kind of a dumb move. Who knows, I might be running the company by now if I was with Best Buy from 2007 to now. But clearly that wasn't my path, and I decided not to take that choice. So anyway, with that said, one of the things that we did was I got together with a whole bunch of other people at Best Buy and got selected to be part of what's called the Best Buy Band. And one of the people that I got to meet was Kiefer Sutherland, and that was a pretty surreal experience. We got to play down at in Atlanta at the World Congress Center right across from the Georgia Dome when it was still up before they put the Mercedes-Benz Stadium up. And he was hosting the Best Buy National Convention. Well, you see there's a guitar in my hand right there in that picture. And for those that never knew, it is that guitar right there. And I've never played it. It hangs on the wall and it's got a signature on it. And it's just one of those stories that it's going to be with me forever. It was something that the whole thing was weird. I mean, it was so much fun. And at the same time, it was like completely surreal that I'm sitting here and walk by, goes Kiefer Sutherland. And then on top of it, I got to play in front of like 5,000 people. And it was ridiculous. It just was an amazing night and a lot of fun. And like I said, I can't remember if I've played this before or not. I think that I may have. But in the meantime, I want to show it to you anyway, because a lot has changed in 13 years. It's been at least 13 years. I was probably about 50 pounds heavier too, which is really weird because I'm looking at myself going, that's me. I know that's me. I can hear me. But for some strange reason, I don't think that's me. Anyway, this was one of the many songs that we did that night. But I started the show off, which was pretty cool too, and got to play one of my faves. Check it out. Here you go. And that's not it. A Joe's Tavern production. But this is. Here you go.
Give me a word, give me a sign, show me where to look, tell me what will I find? What will I find? Maybe I'm the kind to fly me to the sky. Show me where to look, tell me what will I find? What will I find? Yeah. Whoa, heaven, let your light shine down. Whoa, heaven, let your light shine down. Whoa, heaven, let your light shine down. Whoa, heaven, let your light shine down.
So that was a fantastic show. It was a lot of fun. One of the things that was part of the story and that no one knows, obviously, because they weren't there, was I got there and we were there for like 3 days. 2 days of rehearsals, and then we got ready for the show that was that night. I ended up staying for an extra week after that. But one of the things that happened was I got sick like the night before. And the fact that I could even sing was even more amazing. I was literally downing like tea and honey, and back in the day I was drinking then too. So there was a lot of whiskey, tea, honey mixtures that were going on, the so-called, hot toddy or whatever it was that was going to get me through it. And I have no doubt in my mind I was probably about half lit when I did that, because I was like, oh, well, I mean, I've got to coat the throat and make sure that we're good. But I literally couldn't talk about 6 hours before I even went on, and I just figured out a way. I was like, man, there's no way that I am not going on. I've got to make it happen. I ended up singing the rest of the night, and for the next 3 days, like there was no talking. I couldn't make it happen. So that was some interesting little side story about what happened there. All right, so last Sunday I introduced you guys to a couple of different guys that I know. One of them is Xavier Valdez, and you saw that interview on Tuesday, and he's got a lot of different songs. But my buddies out in Kentucky, the Turn 3 band, they've just released another single already, and it's actually pretty good. I wanted to share it with you guys, so we're gonna play that next and throw up their Instagram page and mix it up a little bit. So enjoy this one. These guys are out of Kentucky. If you haven't checked them out yet, go to Spotify, find them at Turn 3. That's Turn with the number 3, Turn 3 band. The song's called 3 Simple Words. Hope you enjoy. Here you go.
When I was young, my daddy said, son, don't you worry, your life is gone. Just be these 3 things: kind, loving, and true. And all will be better. Known you. Now that I'm older, with a son on my own, they mean more than ever. He's been gone for some time. Him so much, but the gift of 3 words means I'll never lose touch. Be these 3 things: kind, loving, and true. All will be better for having known you. Now that I'm older, with a son on my own, they mean more than ever. They remind me of home. 3 simple words. My boy is now grown, with his own kids to love. Same message to share, down from above. everything. Kind, loving, and true. And all will be better. For having known you. Now that I'm older, with a son on my own, they mean more than ever, 'cause they remind me of home. 3 simple words. Now that I'm gone, and my son's on his own, they mean more than ever, 'cause they remind him of home. 3 simple words.
All right, back at it. So that was the Turn 3 band out of Kentucky. Hope you guys enjoyed that. I really like that song, and their other song, On My Way, is a fantastic song, and those guys are really talented. I'm hoping to get them in on an interview for this next show. If not, then I'm going to try and get them in on the next week. Fascinating guys, really down to earth. Started off as a cover band, and they're kind of doing the original thing now, and they're starting to see some great success. So I'm excited about that. All right, folks. Hey, so thanks for watching Live at Chance's House, Season 1, Episode 9. It's the Sunday show, brought to you by Joe's Tavern and Grill. Let's see, which one we're going to pick. Wherever you go, there you are. Joe's Tavern and Grill. All right, guys, with that said, hey, so a couple of things I've been looking at. Trying to figure out what kind of content I can throw in and, come up with something different for the Sunday show, because the Thursday show is the place where you're going to catch the interviews, you're going to catch some music talk, and then you're going to catch me playing for, 30 or 40 minutes, or depending on how long I can go. Now that I've got the audio and video stuff worked out for the most part, Thursdays turned out to be a lot better. But the Sunday show is a little bit different. I can't play live at 7, between 7 and 9 o'clock. There's other stuff going on here at the house, and I got to try and keep it down because I'm loud enough as it is. For those of you who see me live or even see me play, you know that my voice carries pretty well. So I'm trying to kind of keep it down tonight. But coming up with new stuff, talk music, do whatever. I almost ended up in Facebook jail last week because I played a few songs that maybe I probably shouldn't have. I didn't get striped. It wasn't a problem. And I asked a few people that I've seen who actually DJ on Facebook Live and said, hey, do you have the same problem? And they said, nah, we just ignore that. But I don't want to openly say that I'm breaking any copyright laws, so I'm doing my best to try and circumvent that for the most part. One might get slipped in here now and again, but I'm going to try and keep it as legal as possible. All right, so over the course of the last, 15, 20 years that I've played in Bad Karma, doing solo shows or whatever else I've done, I've gotten to do some pretty cool things. And one of the coolest things I ever got to do was I got to play on a New Year's Eve about 4 years ago. 3 years ago. Would have been 3 years ago. And a handful of my friends got to join me downtown Dallas to be part of what was called Marvelous Nerds Year Eve. And it was a Comic-Con convention that they did over New Year's Eve weekend. And the highlight of the show was the after parties. And one of the after parties, my band at the time, currently on hiatus, Bad Karma, got to headline the private event where they were going to have a bunch of celebrities, and then they were going to do a countdown with Stan Lee, the late great Stan Lee, that is. And Brett was out there at the show with me, as a matter of fact, so he got to see this firsthand. But I found some video footage and put some stuff together, which was pretty cool. I was going to show you guys what that looked like. The entire show ended up, quite frankly, being a fiasco. Everything from sound issues to, they charged like $350 per person for this party. And I got there and I'm looking around, and they have the bar set up. People paid all this money, but they were still charging like $12 to $15 for like drinks, and I think beer was that expensive too. Brett would have to confirm that because I wasn't drinking at the time, so I couldn't tell you. But I know there was a lot of really irritated people. Well, the fire marshal came out and was questioning how many people were coming in, and so then they limited the number of people that came in. They sold like 1,500 tickets to this event, and they could only let like 800 in. So there was a line out the door, and if you left to go to the bathroom, they wouldn't let you back in, even if you had a wristband and was there first, because they were letting people flow in as people were flowing out. It was, quite frankly, a nightmare, but we did have a great show. And the cool thing is that we did get to see Stan Lee. We did do a countdown with him. I got to see him, meet him. He signed the drum head to the band. We had a special drum head made for it, and it was actually really exciting and a hell of a lot of fun. So this was one of the songs that we did, one of my personal favorites that we always played, and trumped it up and made it a little fancy and made it cooler than it was, because it was all coming off iPhone videos. They didn't even have a video production set up there, which, there's a bunch of nerds, and there's a bunch of cameras, and there's a bunch of stuff all over the place. And the best that we could do at the private main party at $350 a ticket was to get video, and luckily my friends were taking videos, so I'm blessed for that. Anyway, enjoy this. Here you go. right, that was a little something from Marvelous Nerds Year's Eve. And like I said, it was quite the spectacle. And, you know, I tried to piece stuff together. That was actually off of iPhone video and sound, and I did my best to put it together. But, you know, surprisingly enough, it turned out pretty good. So, Lee, I got your questions, and I'll definitely do that for the Sunday show next week. I'll queue all that up, and that'll actually take up a good portion of the show next week. So great suggestions, and I appreciate that. Looks like I'm going to have to get me a hot dog, too, and do it while I'm explaining. All right, so one of the things that I was going to tell you, though, if you guys watched that video and you saw it, then you saw the drummer in that particular incarnation of Bad Karma. The drummer's name is Brian Martini. He also happens to be the drummer for Red Dirt Outlaws. That's the connection. So when we played together, Mike Freed, the bass player, was already doing some stuff with Brian in that video. And also, you know, he was doing another musical project at the time. And they did a couple of different things, but I was probably about it, you know, I guess it was the beginning of last year, because I've been doing this RDO thing for almost a year, and the record's coming out, by the way, don't forget. And we got the release date on June 19th for the first single, No Breaks. Go check out rdo.com for more information. But Brian gave me a call and said, hey, man, I got this project I'm in. I think you'd be great doing it, and we want to try you out and see what happens. And that's how it got started. So I knew the drummer of the band for RDO before I even got in. I've known him longer than I knew the rest of the guys in the band. So it's a small world with our musician connections that we have here, and I've been blessed to be able to play with a lot of different people in and around Dallas-Fort Worth. So that was a great connection to have, and I'll always be grateful for Brian for that and letting me on, and grateful to the rest of the guys for letting me continue, because it's been a hell of a ride so far, and it's going to just keep getting better. All right, with that said, so kind of rolling through some videos and figuring some stuff out. Back in, 2014, 15, something like that, one of our stays that we always played at was a place in Hearst, and we played there all the time, and it was a place called O'Shea's, and it's still around. And they're still rocking and rolling and doing all their stuff, but at 50% the crowd at the moment. But one of the first videos we ever caught at O'Shea's was a guy brought out some cameras and set the whole thing up. Said, I'll shoot the whole thing for you, and I'll get all the audio, and you can have all the stuff. And he was a really nice guy, and unfortunately he passed away a couple of years ago. His name was Mark Collins, and he kind of went around, and music was his thing, and he just loved getting out and seeing local bands, and he'd bring out a camera set up, and he'd shoot the whole thing, and then he'd edit it for you and put it all together. And, you know, usually tip the guy, you know, $50, $100 to put it all together, and then he'd come over to your house, download it on your drive, and just keeping memories of people. And I always thought that was really cool. He was a very nice man, and true to what he was, and super cool guy. And he just loved music and getting out. He was retired and didn't have anything else better to do, so he'd come out and throw some video out. And, you know, whenever we would play, we would never think about that stuff. I mean, even 2 years ago when I'd be playing, I wasn't really thinking about catching live video of the places that we played and the things that we did. And I wish that I could go back in time and start over and do it completely differently, because I would have recorded every show I ever did, and I would have gotten audio feeds for everything I ever did, just so I could hold those memories. But I do have a few of them, and it's pretty cool to have those. So gonna catch another one here. This is something I haven't played yet. Rocking it up with a little something from Godsmack. This was 2015-ish. Check it out. It's the band Bad Karma. So a little something there for you from Bad Karma back at O'Shea's in around 2015 or so. That was a lot of fun there. So I just got a post from JD. He said, "Where's the drumhead at?" Well, the drumhead's at Brian's house. Actually, he had a thing signed. The funny thing was that we caught it on video, and I got pictures of it. So after the show, after the countdown happened, Stan Lee hung out on the stage, and we showed him the drumhead, and was like, "Hey, you got to check this out." So this is what it looked like. It's pretty good representation. You can kind of see most of it, but we had the drumhead made and put Bad Karma on there, and that was what was on there. And we asked him, we showed it to him, said, "Hey, check this out," and he just thought it was awesome. Because we knew that he was going to be there. And he actually got down on his hands and knees with a Sharpie and signed it. But it didn't quite come out real well. I think that the Sharpie was dried up or whatever. You'd think the one time you're like, I'm going to get a signature, this is going to work. You get a Sharpie that works. So anyway, what happened was that the next day, they still had the con going on at the convention center. So Brian went back up to the hotel, to the convention center, got in line, and actually went and met Stan Lee again, because they do autograph signings and stuff, and took the drum head up to him and said, "Hey, would you mind doing it again?" It didn't come through real well. The jacked up thing about it was that his handlers at the time, and I hate to say that that's what it was, but that's what they were like, no, he's not signing anything unless you pay for it. And I'm like, dude, the guy was at our show last night, and he signed it already. It just didn't come through real well. You think maybe he could sign over it, just, cut us a break here, It was dark. It was, at the time, I think I want to say he was 89 years old. The guy got on his hands and knees and signed the drumhead for us. And anyway, he saw Brian, and he waved him over. It's like, no, come here, let him through. But the people at the front of the line were like, no, unless you pay whatever it was. I think it was like $100 too. And I mean, we would have gladly paid it just to have the memory and the experience to have it signed, even if he hadn't signed it that night. But the guy had already signed it, so you'd think that we would just made that happen. And luckily he did. Brian stood in line and waited patiently with everyone else. And then he went ahead and re-signed it. And Brian took it back to his recording studio and where he lives, and it's hanging up very proudly there. So it's pretty cool story of what happened with that. Let's see what else we got going on. Just checking in. Thanks for stopping by, for you guys that are chiming in and taking a look, and I appreciate all the comments and give me some ideas for next week's show. Get ready to wrap things up here in just a few minutes, but wanted to show a couple other things and let you guys know what's happening in the world. So don't forget, June 19th, RDO's first single, No Breaks, is coming out. It's going to be released everywhere, all the things. Apple iTunes, Google Play Store, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Pandora, you name it, it's going to be out. June 19th, we're going to have that released. There's also going to be a video watching party that we're going to do for the video that night, and then I'll probably show the video again on Live at Chance's house the following Sunday or Thursday. We'll pick one of the two and have it out. But I'm excited. The video's done. It's been finished for a while, and it looks great. It's a lot of fun. It's a well-produced video, so we're pretty excited about that. And then we'll be releasing 3 more singles between June 19th and probably the end of the summer. We're going to put them out every couple of 3 weeks, have some songs out there available, and then we're going to release the album. We're waiting a little bit to see where we can play live and what that looks like, and make sure everyone's safe and can get out. I mean, I know there's a lot of places right now where the bars are already open and there's people acting a fool all over the place, but we're not about that, and certainly not going to risk anything with the Rona at the moment. So we'll let everyone else work that out, and maybe if we're a little bit more clear come to the end of the summer, we'll actually do a CD release party. Worst case scenario, we'll do a Zoom video with the whole band. We'll do it on Live at Chance's house, and we'll have our CD release party right here and make it a big deal. Or maybe by that time we can get out and might actually do something outside. I was thinking about this, and I'm pretty sure that the guys over at Joe's are going to be okay with it. But this whole setup isn't hard. It's a laptop, it's a webcam, and all I need is a internet connection. So I'm thinking when the time comes, we're actually going to need to do a Live at Chance's house at Joe's Tavern, and we'll do the whole show from there and make it a spectacle and make it big and blown up. We'll invite everyone over and have a hell of a great time. So that's what I got working in my brain already to make it cool and even more fun, and we can take this thing anywhere and have some fun with it. I have a lot of fun. For those of you that chimed in so far and watched for the first 9 episodes so far, feels like a milestone when I get to 10. But it's been a lot of fun, and I'm going to continue trying to come up with new content and new ideas, and maybe it's not always about me, because it's not. It's about music and friends and hanging out and doing something different, because right now there ain't any sports on. I thought about this too. If we get football season coming back on, which, I think they're going to work something out. I think come hell or high water, there ain't any way that the NFL is going to cancel. So I may have to adjust my times, because Thursdays at 7 ain't going to work if they got Thursday night football, and Sunday nights ain't going to work either. So I'm going to have to come up with something off and do like Wednesdays and Saturdays. I don't know. I'll figure that out when we cross that bridge. But we got the whole summer to get through the rest of it in the meantime. All right. With that said, wanted to throw up one that I don't know if you guys, some of you have seen, some of you have not. But I also did a video along with one of the other songs I've got up on Spotify, and Every Step's been doing really well. Like I said, it's at 59,406 right now, and probably turn over 60,000 tomorrow. So thanks again for everyone who's been supporting that. But the second most popular song that I got on Spotify is actually a cover song that I did. It's an Audio Slave cover song. I recorded and produced the whole thing in this office, and then sent the files off to my great friend Chris Responte, who mixed and mastered it and produced the hell out of it and made it sound better than me singing in an office, which was pretty cool. I put a video together for it, and I'm going to play that for you next. But the reason why the song came up was because Soundgarden, for me, growing up, was they were everything. I mean, when the grunge scene came out, yeah, I like Pearl Jam, and I have to admit, I said this last Sunday, I'm not a big Nirvana fan, but I like the Foo Fighters. Forgive anyone out there who loves Nirvana. I'm sorry, it just wasn't my thing. But Soundgarden to me was one of the greatest bands in the '90s, and I thought Chris Cornell was an absolute phenomenal singer. And as he got older, and even after Soundgarden broke up, before they reunited, he did a lot of things. He did a lot of stuff. He did Audio Slave, and then he went on and produced his own solo stuff. And then he was actually the master of cover songs. He re-recorded some of the greatest songs ever, and re-recorded them and made them his own, and in their own right were just fantastic versions of the song. He did Nothing Compares to You by Prince. He did Thank You by Led Zeppelin, which is just an amazing, amazing cover version. And one of these days I'll play that for you and share it. I actually think I've got the video for that. But after he passed in 2017, that was one of those ones that hit me kind of hard. And I never really thought that listening to music and, kind of having that someone that you don't even know be so integral in your life. And so far I haven't had any of my, legendary bands that I love. I'm sure it's going to be coming soon eventually, because all those guys are starting to get older. But, I haven't. I've only had a couple of ones that kind of hit me hard and it put me in a mood all day. And I was like, man, that sucks. And when Chris Cornell died, that was the day I went, that sucks. Well, I knew I was going to record the song anyway, and I did, and I got it out. But I was lucky enough to put it out with an organization called OK to Say, and they put it out on a compilation somewhere, and it was all the money that I made on the song. And to this day, I mean, any money that I make on it is all going to be donated to that charity organization, and it's all about taking care of people with mental health issues and depression, and it's ultimately the silent killer of millions of people that we just don't even know about. It's a great organization, and I'm glad to be able to support that along with the other ones that we do. But this was the video that I put out for it. This is for the cover song that I did, Like a Stone. You've heard me play it on here before. It's on Spotify, available now to go check out. And here we go. Hope you enjoy.
On a cobweb afternoon in a room full of emptiness by freeway, I confess I was lost in the pages of a book full of death, reading how we'll die alone if we're good, we'll lay to rest anywhere we want to go. In your house, I long to be room by room, patiently I'll wait for you there, like a stone. I'll wait for you there, and on my deathbed, I will pray to the gods and the angels like a pagan, to anyone who will take me to heaven, to a place I recall. I was there so long ago. The sky was bruised, the wine was bled, and there you led me on. In your house, I long to be room by room, patiently I'll wait for you there, like a stone. I'll wait of all the things I've done, for all that I've blessed, and all that I've wronged, in dreams until my death, I will wander on in your house. I long to be room by room, patiently I'll wait for you there, like a stone. I'll wait for you there, alone.
So that was a little something from 2017. I recorded that song. Like I said, it was a cover song from Audio Slave called Like a Stone. And I did that it was cathartic for me, and I had to do it. And it was the first cover song I actually ever recorded and then put out. But I knew that I didn't want to put it out and then try and make money on it. I just thought it would be a good vehicle to get me started back into the music scene again. And it was very good for me, and started playing a lot more acoustic shows and doing a lot more stuff. And then when I found an organization that I could give the money to, anything that I raised, that I certainly gave to them. OKToSay.org is the organization. So with that said, we're going to wrap things up and take you guys out. It is the Sunday show live at Chance's house, season 1, episode 9. And I want to thank everyone who's chimed in on the comments, and everyone who's come in and watched tonight. Tonight's show, once again, brought to you by our friends at Joe's Tavern and Grill. As always, thank you all you guys out there, Brett, Lee, JD, Mark, and everyone who's chimed in every week and come out to support. I really do appreciate it. Official Tavern of Tavern and Grill, music by Chance, and home of the Ball Handlers Fantasy Football League, Joe's Tavern and Grill. Check them out on Facebook. You can find out more information about them there. For more information about what I'm doing and what's coming up in the future releases, songs coming out on Spotify and some other things I'm going to be doing, you can go to musicbychance.com. Don't forget, as a reminder, June 19th, RDO's first release, Red Dirt Outlaws. No Breaks first single comes out June 19th, released everywhere. Video coming along with that. You can go to rdioband.com, check out the media page if you want to see some excerpts of some of the songs that we've got already out there. Don't forget also Mondays and Thursdays at 9 o'clock, Joe's Tavern and Grill also sponsors my good friend Devin Pike and his Twitch TV show called Universal Remote. For more information on what's going on there, check out universalremote.tv. Also on Sunday nights at 5:30 is the Cheap Popcast, and at 6:30 the Clubhouse podcast from my good friend Rob Irvin. That's every Sunday night. You can find them on Vocal Now, VOKAL now.com. With that said, you guys have a great night. Thank you as always, and I appreciate all the feedback, camaraderie, and friendship. This is always a lot of fun for me, and just gets me to know a little bit more about you. You guys get to know a little bit more about me, and it gives me something to do on a Sunday night too, and Thursdays whenever I'm playing live. So keep the requests coming. Keep the information coming. If you want anything to know, you want to add anything to the show, if you got any ideas, I'm open. This is just an experiment in staying sane while we're all staying in. And one final word is, at the end of the day, whatever we believe, whatever we think, it doesn't really matter. The one thing that we can do if we want to make a change is to listen and be kind. And that's the mantra that I've been going with over the last couple of weeks, especially with all the things that are going on in the world right now. Listen and be kind. If you can do those things, then you're going to be part of the solution. And, hey, stay safe out there. You guys be good. And we'll talk to you soon. Have a great night.
place where I come from. Well, I'm gonna walk and leave you behind. I'm gonna walk 'cause you made me love you. Can't believe I go so far away, but it lets me ease my mind. At the mountain I let myself go. The mountain listens, the mountain knows. Well, you're gonna walk 'cause you say you love me. You're gonna walk and leave me alone. I let you roam, you soon realize I've got another place to go. Can't believe I go so far away, but it lets me ease my mind. At the mountain I let myself go. The mountain listens, the mountain knows that you're no good for me. Well, you're no good for me. I trust the mountain, she gives me pride. Well, I speak to her like she's my bride. She doesn't play any games, she doesn't laugh at me. She just listens and she knows.